Coming up, the anniversary of a war leaves students longing for a solution.
Stay tuned, a weekend protest echoes at San Jose City Hall.
And a government shutdown leaves federal employees unsure about their future.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communications at San Jose State University, your source for what's happening with a fresh perspective on today's issues. You're watching Update News.
Welcome to Update News. I'm Isabella Alvarez.
And I'm Abigail Rodriguez. This Tuesday marked 2 years a war ignited between Israel and Hamas. Since the October 7th attacks that ignited a war between Israel and Hamas, for many students the distance of the war only intensifies their emotions. Our reporter Sophie Cipriano is live with more.
Tensions are continuing to rise from the Middle East to overseas as we enter the third year of the Israel and Hamas war. With the losses on both sides, the death toll rises. Some students continue to share how this conflict is shaping their reality. Take a look.
Long live the Intifada! Long live the Intifada!
Student activist voice ring loudly, even after 2 years. Members for Students for Justice in Palestine, a pro-Palestinian organization on San Jose State's campus, are unwavering in their protests. One member, Maya Abuquik, a Palestinian student activist, shares her thoughts.
Many of my family members were killed, and some are still trying to survive, still trying to find food, still living in tents.
Abuquik's family struggles shows one Palestinian family's reality. For Jewish students, October 7th marks an anniversary painted in death and destruction. The Lil of Silicon Valley is an organization that connects Jewish students with their culture and Israel. The group is commemorating the day by having Yoni Vologa, a survivor of the day, share his tale.
They raped women in the gardens.
The war is affecting some Jewish students in multiple ways.
People like my family knew were taken hostage. They were killed too. And then a few days later, when Hamas announced its International Day of Rage, all the way across the world in America, my hometown synagogue leader in Detroit was stabbed and killed.
For Sam, the war rips communities and families apart. Many people view the conflict as choosing sides. For other students with a unique identity, they may have mixed views.
I think it's an important place for Jews to have, but I don't think it should come at the cost of Palestinian lives or of Palestine existing as a whole.
Although both sides see it differently, one fact unites them. War leaves consequences in its wake.
I'm just as devastated as I was 2 years ago when this genocide started, because nothing is changing, really.
On the 2-year anniversary, it did seem a lot more hopeful because of the recent news that they're working toward like a ceasefire deal. So there's like a glimmer of hope. But yeah, overall, it's still pretty heavy.
Over 67,000 people have died on both sides, according to the United Nations. With Israel and Hamas agreeing to a ceasefire deal on Wednesday, there may be hope. Both sides can end the war. Live in San Jose, I'm Sophie Cipriano, Update News.
With the ongoing conflict in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas, some are still speaking out. I went to San Jose City Hall to see what South Bay locals are doing to share their support from overseas.
Buckets used for drums held the beat of the chants as protesters proudly flew Palestinian flags outside of City Hall last Saturday. The community showed solidarity for Gaza, demanding the United States ends aid to Israel.
As long as the people of Palestine continue to resist, shall we!
An SJSU alumni spoke about why she is using her voice to support Palestine.
It is essential that we speak and we stand up and we talk about our own complicity as United States citizens in the genocide of the Palestinian people.
I say stand up, you say fight back, stand up.
The protesters marched downtown as they chanted in unison, halting traffic in the area. While some folks don't see the impact, others have felt it is their responsibility to speak on the issue.
The Palestinians have been oppressed for more than 70 years, and that's their land. The Israel are settlers, and they're stealing their land. And while we're all watching Gaza, they're stealing West Bank.
Protesters emphasized the importance of using the First Amendment right of assembly to voice their opposition to what they call a genocide.
Join an organization, support a fundraising campaign, support UNRWA, write to your senators, your congresspeople, your city council members, do whatever it takes.
Activists like Sweet have continued to put pressure on SJSU to divest from companies like Lockheed Martin, a defense contractor for the Israeli government, specializing in global security and aerospace technology. SJSU Senior Director of Media Relations, Michelle Smith McDonald, confirmed that Lockheed Martin recruits SJSU students at career fairs, but does not hold direct investments in Lockheed Martin.
The protesters emphasized the importance of mobilizing and uniting as a community to protest what they believe is injustice, not just in Palestine, but around the world.
Some may say that the U.S. Attorney General is evoking change to federal employees' job criteria after a previous hearing. Reporter Matt Meyer has the story.
Federal employees are now questioning what their job requirements might entail.
When I was confirmed as the 87th Attorney General of the United States, I took office with two main goals: to end the weaponization of justice and return the department to its core mission of fighting violent crime.
Some federal employees believe that used to be the message, but now they feel that message has been lost. Susan Kreider is a legal assistant who has been at the San Jose branch of the U.S. Attorney's Office for 25 years. She shared how she felt about the current administration's views on the department's goals.
It's not about justice for him, it's all about revenge and getting back at his enemies.
Kreider plans to leave the U.S. Attorney's Office in January, but she says many in her office have already left.
It's very sad. People are leaving a lot. There's been a lot of turnover, but really hasn't even been turnover. It's just been people leaving and nobody wants to come back.
The federal government saw a large drop in its workforce due to cuts and an increase in resignations. Kreider shared why she and others she knows are leaving government service.
Nobody wants to be there. Nobody believes in what we stand for anymore because they don't stand for it anymore.
As federal employees express their concerns about the Department of Justice's recent meeting, many worry about if their jobs are losing their ethical values. In San Jose, Matt Meyer, Update News.
When we come back.
Up next, a system upgrade leaves users tapping for answers.
Coming up, a Latin artist is set to perform in the Bay, despite concerns regarding ICE presence.
Californians rely on SNAP, also known as CalFresh, but when payment systems go down, both shoppers and small businesses are left frustrated. Our reporter Tanya Ortega has more information on how the new chip and tap EBT cards aimed to prevent fraud may bring some issues.
EBT users are now getting an upgrade on their cards as California is rolling out with new chip and tap EBT cards designed to prevent scams and card skimming. California's goal is to make transactions safer, especially after a number of fraud reports, according to the Department of Social Services.
We've had an increased number of fraud skimming in our EBT funds. And so what we wanted to do is make it more secure for the clients to pay.
But during payment system outages, chip and tap features are unable to function, leaving both cashiers and customers waiting for the service to return. For small businesses, those outages can quickly cut into profits.
It's worrying because there are a lot of people in this area of lower resources. They will not be able to get their groceries, and it also hurts the business as it relies a lot on EBT. EBT users say the new cards may offer stress, causing them to have backup plans when the system fails.
I was trying to buy something that I really needed. I would just have to pay out of pocket. But if it's something that could have waited, then I'd probably just wait until I'd probably just go to another store to buy what I need.
And for EBT users, it's not just the inconvenience. In most cases, it means going home empty-handed or paying out of pocket. The first chip and tap EBT cards were released back in January. The last set of cards will roll out by the end of October, hoping that stronger security won't come at the cost of accessibility. Reporting in East Palo Alto, Tania Ortega, Update News.
The Latin pop star Bad Bunny will be making a U.S. appearance next year, as he's been announced as the 2026 Super Bowl halftime headliner. But the announcement of his performance has turned political for some, with many different opinions on the performance. Our reporter Dominic Herrera has more.
One of the biggest events in American football will be getting a Spanish spin here in Santa Clara at Levi Stadium, with Puerto Rican music star Bad Bunny headlining the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show.
I was really excited, and obviously as a fan, I was even more excited to hear about his halftime performance.
The decision to have a Latin artist headline for the Super Bowl comes at a time when some Latino people across the United States face uncertainty and fear due to policies enacted by the Trump administration. Bad Bunny stated in ID magazine that the reason behind choosing not to perform in the United States is because of potential ICE presence at his concerts.
I do understand why he didn't choose to have any credits, and honestly I think it's like a good way of almost punishing the United States for its current political climate.
Staff members of the Department of Homeland Security, such as DHS Secretary Kristi Noem, have threatened to deploy ICE due to the performance.
If ICE decides to show up, they decide to show up. Doesn't change the fact that there's someone in American representation performing at the halftime.
Some do not believe the choice to have Bad Bunny perform is inherently political. SGSU professor of kinesiology, Matt Crockett, shares his thoughts.
It would be a political decision if Bad Bunny comes out and says something explicitly political during his performance, which I highly doubt that would happen. So in terms of whether they're choosing to follow politics or business, in this case, it's a business interest.
Reporting from Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, Dominic J. Herrera, Update News.
I don't know about you, Abigail, but I feel like this last week's weather has been kind of unpredictable.
Yeah, you're right, but you know who is good at predicting weather? Our student meteorologist, Luis Ocampo, on the big screen live.
Thank you, Isabel and Abigail. Well, we got a lot of weather to talk about, and it has been unpredictable this week, but let's take a look at what to expect for next week. So for this week, though, there is a chance of rain, but more drizzle along the coast, late Friday into early Saturday. But most of the weekend will be dry. But as we head into next week, there is a better chance of rain as we head into next week. Morning temperatures will be 40s in the North Bay, but everyone else will be in the 50s. So if you need to take your jacket, go take it if you're really cold. Most of the Bay, though, 60s and 70s as we head into Friday. But as we head into the weekend, though, let's take a look at what's ahead for the rain. So there is no chances of drizzle as we head into Friday. And then as we head over the weekend, there is nothing to be seen. As you can see, the radar will be mostly clear. 6 p.m. Monday, though, there is that next system that could bring better rainfall for most of the Bay, especially Central Bay. South Bay, Santa Cruz Mountains might get most of that moisture, but we could see some decent rainfall still down the South Bay and most of the Bay, too. Look at the rainfall totals. We could see possibly near half an inch in Half Moon Bay, near 0.2 of an inch in San Jose. So that is decent amounts of rain. So hopefully that'll end fire season soon enough, too. We'll start off in Santa Cruz for our 7-day. We'll probably make it back up to 70 by Sunday before we cool back down into the 60s as we head into next week with that chance of rain. Similar scenario as we head over to San Francisco and Oakland, where we'll make that chance of rain again Monday and Tuesday, and temperatures will try and make it to the mid-60s and upper 60s and cool back down into the low 60s, probably upper 50s too in San Francisco. We'll end it off at San Jose State University. We'll stay off in the 70s as we head into Sunday, but then that chance of rain brings it down to the 60s into Monday and Tuesday. Then it's still uncertain what to expect for the rest of next week, possibly another chance of rain, but that's all we got right now for this broadcast. Back to the desk.
When we come back.
Coming up, a shortage in a popular drink choice leaves businesses and consumers parched.
Dive into the world of sports with me, Mohammed Ajimi, in Spartan Sports Central, coming up next.
And a club on campus seeks to get rid of stigma. Find out soon.
Matcha has become increasingly more popular. The demand for it has continued to be on the rise. The increase in demand has brought difficulties for business owners who are already facing changes from the ongoing matcha shortage. I went to see how these business owners are navigating this shortage and how exactly they plan to keep up this demand. The matcha shortage and the 15% tariffs imposed on Japanese goods have increased the price of matcha, leaving local matcha businesses to deal with the issue.
The quantity we can order is a lot smaller, so we kind of have to just plan ahead and then see how much we can get, and then if it doesn't work out, we kind of have to source out and then find other suppliers.
For some businesses who have to look for a new supplier, it causes a delay as they have to taste test the matcha before selling to ensure good quality matcha. Prices are not only higher for these businesses but also for customers. The price for a matcha latte is averaging $6.15 in comparison to the $5.84 price last year, according to the company Square. For matcha drinkers like Vivian Gutierrez, the rising prices have been a sudden change.
I used to get matcha pretty frequently. I definitely don't get it as much now. I used to get it at least once a week, just like on a special Thursday. And now I get it around just once every 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And the prices have definitely impacted that.
There are many factors that play a role in this shortage that must be considered.
Of course, there's less supply and more demands, and the prices are probably reflecting that, right? The prices are going up.
As this shortage continues to rise prices, businesses and consumers may have to make adjustments to their budgets. Some matcha business owners like Sydney Ruan say that the rising prices are causing them to absorb the cost or raise prices for customers. I'm really excited to see Bad Bunny perform at the next halftime show.
Totally, me too. Let's see who students want to see perform at the Super Bowl in this week's State of the Spartans.
I like to see Junior H. He's a Mexican artist and he's my favorite artist right now, and I would love to see him at the Super Bowl.
I would love to see Sabrina Carpenter.
I would like to see Rauw Alejandro.
Chappelle Roan, because she's a queer icon.
Like Brett Faiyaz would be cool. Yeah.
Justin Timberlake.
I'd like to see Drake perform at the Super Bowl.
I would say Karol G.
Personally, to see Ariana Grande. I feel like she's been in the game for a long time. She has a lot of iconic songs that people can sing along to, worldwide, well known, so I feel like I'd love to see her.
So if I could pick any artist, I would definitely say Playboi Carti or NBA YoungBoy, because I feel like it's the Super Bowl, you want to get hype, you want to dance. All the other artists were good, but I feel like they could really like get the audience going, and it would be different. So that's my vote. Playboi Carti for sure, #1.
For some students at San Jose State, finding a sense of belonging means joining a community that's often misunderstood. Our reporter Mohammed Najimi introduces us to one group that's redefining what it means to be a furry on campus through the eyes of one of its members.
When it comes to the furry community, many members feel the misconceptions are endless. A furry is an enthusiast for animal characters with human characteristics. But for San Jose State student Elvis Ibarra, being a furry means something entirely different.
What makes this club special to me is that no matter who you are or what you think, you're allowed to be part of it.
Elvis is part of Spartan Furs, a student club that focuses less on costumes and more on connection, a space where everyone is welcome.
We're more just about building that sense of community and connecting people to one another, whether that be furries or people who might just be interested in furries or just getting into it, or they only are interested in like a specific subset.
That sense of openness is what keeps Elvis and others coming back week after week.
The community is really close-knit and really accepting of everyone. We're open to all kinds of ideas and stances. They're really open to just being nice, about being friends with everyone.
Still, Elvis says the biggest hurdle is helping people understand what being a furry really means.
The biggest misconception is that we think that we're animals. Mainly, most furries are just people who want to dress up as animals.
It's just nice knowing that there's a place for furries to be together on campus. Just knowing that we have a group that we can just talk and hang out and do stuff in.
For Spartan Furs, being a furry isn't about fitting a stereotype, it's about finding a connection. And for members like Elvis, this community is what makes this club feel like home. At San Jose State, I'm Mohammed Najimi, Update News.
And now we have Mohammed Najimi at the big board with this week's Spartan Sport Focus.
Hello and welcome to Spartan Sports Central. I'm your host, Mohammed Najimi. We'll be going over SJSU sport, what's happened and what's coming up. First sport up, women's volleyball. SJSU is currently 6-9 for the season and is 8th in the conference. They recently lost the conference rival Fresno State 3-0. They haven't won a match since September 25th when they beat UNLV 3-2. The bright spot for this team is their defense. The opponents are hitting on the second lowest percentage this season in the conference. And the rest of the season is going to be conference matches, with the first two being home games, the first one being Nevada on Thursday, October 9th at 6 p.m., the second being against Air Force on Saturday, October 11th at 1 p.m., and then they finish off with an away game at Boise State on Thursday, October 16th at 5 p.m. Next sport, women's soccer. The SJSU is currently 1-8-3 on the season. They're coming off a 1-0 defeat against Grand Canyon on Sunday, October 5th. Before that loss, they had 3 straight results of draws against UNLV, Nevada, and New Mexico. The bright spot is their goalkeeper. Goalkeeper Paige Fry has 58 saves for the season, which is the 3rd most in the conference. They currently have 2 matches scheduled, one away game at Boise State on Thursday, October 9th at 6 p.m. and finishing off with a home game on Sunday, October 12th at 12 p.m. Now, it is Spartan Showcase, the one match you don't want to miss, and it is women's swim and dive. It's their first meet for the season. It's happening this weekend, starting October 10th, ending on October 11th in the Fresno State Invite. Last season in the Fresno State Invite, they ended up placing 5th place out of 6 teams. And so we will see how it'll end up in this weekend, after this weekend. Mostly every year they have an alumni meet. Before the season, they had one on September 20th, where alumni can come back and race, dive, and just do the things that they did on the team and pretty much have fun. So, and that has been your Spartan Sports Central. Tune in next week for more SJSU sports.
And that does it for this week's edition of Update News.
For all of us here, thanks for joining us and see you next week. And don't forget to find us on our socials.